What's up, everybody? How's it going? This is Pastor Justin Bozeman, and I'm actually here with my co-host, Pastor Alvin D. Bozeman. And this is what I would call a special show because this is what I would say that I call the pre-show. I'm gonna take people a little bit behind the scenes and kind of let people in on the process for how we actually come up with the show, for how we do what it is that we do. And so, with that being said, I'm going to take you to let me take you through the entire process because we're getting ready to actually do a show in just a few minutes live over on Facebook. But what I really want to do is I want people to know, you, because people think that we just come up and we just say stuff and we just come up and we just want to cause controversy, but that's not really true. What is true is the fact that we want to make sure that we get the truth. So let me take you behind the scenes in my process and how we do things and how we go about doing some things. So the first thing that I do is I like to do some research. So since this episode that we have coming up is about the esteemed and well accredited Dr. Fauci, we do some research. So I'm going to let you look into what I look at when it comes to uh, when I do research into the things that I do. I watch a lot of content. Mostly, I watch congressional things like this scene here that we're about to actually go and watch. And so this is basically Rand Paul
Dr.
questioning
Fauci,
Dr. Fauci.
we don't know whether the pandemic started in a lab in Wuhan or evolved naturally, but we should want to know. 3 million people have died from this pandemic, and that should cause us to explore all possibilities. Instead, government authorities, self-interested in continuing gain-of-function research, say there's nothing to see here. Gain-of-function research, as you know, is juicing up naturally occurring animal viruses to infect humans. To arrive at the truth, the U.S. government should admit that the Wuhan Virology Institute was experimenting to enhance the coronavirus's ability to infect humans. Juicing up superviruses is not new. Scientists in the U.S. have long known how to mutate animal viruses to infect humans. For years, Dr. Ralph Barrick, a virologist in the U.S., has been collaborating with Dr. Shi Zhengli of the Wuhan Virology Institute, sharing his discoveries about how to create superviruses. This gain-of-function research has been funded by the NIH. The collaboration between the U.S. and the Wuhan Virology
coming in and going out.
Doctors Barrick and Shi worked together to insert bat virus spike protein into the backbone of the deadly SARS virus, and then use this man-made supervirus to infect human airway cells. Think about that for a moment. The SARS virus had a 15% mortality. We're fighting a pandemic that has about a 1% mortality. Can you imagine if a SARS virus that's been juiced up and had viral proteins added to it, to the spike protein, if that were released accidentally? Dr. Fauci, do you still support funding of the NIH funding of the lab in Wuhan?
Senator Paul, with all due respect, you are entirely and completely incorrect that the NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute
Do they fund
of Virology.
Dr. Barrick?
Remember that
We
statement.
do not fund
Do you fund Dr. Barrick's gain-of-function research?
Dr. Barrett does not doing gain-of-function research, and if it is, it's according to the guidelines, and it is being conducted in North Carolina.
You don't think inserting
China.
a bat virus spike protein that he got from the Wuhan Institute into the SARS virus is gain of function?
That is
you would
not
be in the minority because at least 200 scientists have signed a statement from the Cambridge Working Group saying that it is gain of function.
Well, it is not. And if you look at the grant and you look at the progress reports, it is not gain of function, despite the fact that people tweet that
So
They
do you
write
still
about it.
support sending money to the Wuhan Virology Institute?
We do not send money now to the Wuhan
Do you
Virology
support
Institute.
sending money? We did under your tutelage. We were sending it through EcoHealth. It was a sub-agency
right.
and a sub-grant. Do you support the money from NIH that was going to the Wuhan Institute?
Let me explain to you why that was done. The SARS-CoV-1 originated in bats in China. It would have been irresponsible of us if we did not investigate the bat viruses and the serology to see who might have been
Or
infected
perhaps it would be
in China.
irresponsible to send it to the Chinese government that we may not be able to trust with this knowledge and with this incredibly dangerous viruses. Government scientists like yourself who favor gain of function research
I don't favor gain of
maintain
function
that
research
the
in China.
disease
You are
arose
saying things
naturally.
that are not correct.
Government defenders of gain of function, such as yourself, say that COVID-19 mutations were random and not designed by man. But interestingly, the technique that Dr. Barrick developed forces mutations by serial passage through cell culture that the mutations appear to be natural. In fact, Dr. Barrick named the technique the no-see-em technique because the mutations appear naturally. Nicholas Baker of the New York Magazine said nobody would know if the virus had been fabricated in a laboratory or grown in nature. Government authorities in the U.S., including yourself, unequivocally deny that COVID-19 could have escaped a lab. But even Dr. Shi in Wuhan wasn't so sure. According to Nicholas Baker, Dr. Shi wondered, could this new virus have come from her own laboratory? She checked her records frantically and found no matches. That really took a load off my mind, she said. I had not slept for days. The director of the gain of function research in Wuhan couldn't sleep because she was terrified that it might be in her lab. Dr. Barrick, an advocate of gain of function research, admits the main problem that the Institute of Virology has is the outbreak occurred in close proximity. What are the odds? Barrick responded, could you rule out a laboratory escape? The answer in this case is probably not. Will you, in front of this group, categorically say that the COVID-19 could not have occurred through serial passage in a laboratory?
I do not have any accounting of what the Chinese may have done, and I'm fully in favor of any further investigation of what went on in China. However, I will repeat again, the NIH and NIAID categorically has not funded gain of function research to be conducted in the Wuhan Institute of
But you do
Virology.
support it in the U.S. We have 11 labs doing it, and you have allowed it here. We have a committee to do it, but the committee has granted every exemption. You're fooling with Mother Nature here. You're allowing super viruses to be created with a 15% mortality. It's very dangerous. I think it was a huge mistake to share this with China, and it's a huge mistake to allow this to continue in the United States. And we should be very careful to investigate where this virus came from.
I fully agree that you should investigate where the virus came from. But again, we have not funded gain of function research on this virus in the Wuhan Institute of Virology, no matter how many times you say it.
There
it
was
didn't happen.
research. There was research done with
Are you
Dr. Shi
serious?
and Dr. Barrick. They have collaborated on gain of function research where they enhanced the SARS virus to infect human airway cells, and they did it by merging a new spike protein on it. That is gain of function. That was joint research between the Wuhan Institute and Dr. Barrick. You can't deny it.
Senator Paul, your time has expired. Dr. Fauci, I will let you respond to that when we need.
Exposed
Now,
as the fraud he is.
now let me just say, because like I said, this is pre-show, so you're gonna see me doing all types of stuff like eating and everything else. But this is the type of stuff that I like to do, that I like to research and look into, because people oftentimes will say things and they won't have any actual backing to them. Like, they won't actually go and look up stuff. See, I actually go and I look up stuff congressionally. I watch the actual debates that they have. I watch the committees that they set up. I actually read the bills that they put into practice online. So, in this show that we have coming up about Dr. Fauci, I'm going to talk, and we're going to talk for a while about really how the scamdemic has really exposed a lot of different things and what it was used for, why it was used in a certain way. And I'm gonna try to get you, people to see this for what it is. Whereas instead of sitting in their homes believing that the sky is falling and that the world is ending and believing that they're going to die at any moment because this virus is supposedly like the movie Breakout with Dustin Hoffman, where if you walk past somebody, you're just going to get it. And now people live in fear to go to church, but they'll go and they'll stand outside at a Black Lives Matter rally and yell, "No justice, no peace." I'm going to expose, and we plan on exposing this pandemic for what it really did. And I want to make sure that everybody who's watching this on YouTube goes over to Facebook right now, because we're about to go live in about 1 minute on Uncle Tom's Extravaganza, and we're going to discuss the scamdemic. So I wanted to put this up on my channel because, as I mentioned before, since we're being shadow banned, I'm going to do something in the next couple of weeks to try to trick the algorithm. I'm just going to release video after video after video after video, and I'm going to keep doing it over and over and over and over again until it is actually out there. So join us over on Facebook Live. Type in Uncle Tom's Extravaganza and become a part of the show. We make it public. Anybody can see it. Anybody can watch it. And we're looking